In evidence of winter, the lines have been drawn. On one side there is nature, on the other art. Who will reign supreme, nature or art, matter or mind? Let's watch. Evidence of Winter is a Super 8 film in 3 parts, documenting 2 environmental art experiments we did in the backyard at 729 Lorette Avenue over the winter of 1977 and 78. The first explores environmental effects on the miracle of poetry, and the second, winter's effect on film. This part you're watching is called Reverse Miracle. In the summer of 1977, I nailed copies of my book of poetry called Prism Prisons to a crude wooden frame and left it outside, fully exposed to the elements for the summer, fall, winter, and spring. Now, I published Prism Prisons myself in 1970. It experienced limited sales, so about 350 of them moldered away in our various garages over the decades. Reverse Miracle was a somewhat quicker experiment. The resulting blackening of the books, that disgraceful, horrible desecration of the poetic word that you witness, bad poetry treated badly, perhaps even worse than it deserves. Look away. Look away if the violence offends you. The next part is called Film Board because there was really nothing else to call it. Linda and I selected all manner of photographic images, prints, snapshots, and 35mm slides, negatives, photocopied collages, leader tape, and exposed Super 8 film. Then we took a plank, a board, and we tacked and stapled and glued all the photographic images that we'd selected to the board, which, as a result, instantly became the film board. And then, cruelly, but with art intent, we left it outside to overwinter face up under the snow. During our first winter together, Linda and I were cozy, safe, and warm, but we knew the film board wasn't. In the spring, after snowmelt, we turned over the film board, and it appears pretty much as you see it now. Winter had had its way with our film board. The effects were immediately obvious. Many of the images, especially the prints, were obliterated. Winter had just stolen them away. The tacks were rusted, as you can see. The slides disintegrated, the paper collages shredded. Havoc reigned on the film board. But the hardy Super 8 film hung together, blowing in the wind, as you can see. Now, I'd attached quite a lot of Super 8 film on and around the film board, and that spring I carefully took it off the plank and cleaned it. Now, in the next and final section of Evidence of Winter, which is called Winter, you will see the actual Super 8 film that spent the season on the film board. Now, the evidence will be clear, the devastation plain. The emulsion on the film was severely affected by exposure to the elements. Look especially for vivid robin egg blues and cobalt blues and yellow flashes. The original footage that you're watching was actually of a replica of Fort Brandon that sat on the city's North Hill. The fort is long gone, it's a housing development now. And the other basic footage that you'll see is of scenes of Winnipeg. Now, although winter erased some of the image, it left something behind. As you watch this, you'll see the black squiggles that appear through most of the film. That's what winter contributed to the film. Now let us propel the Super 8 film off of the film board into the projector, accompanied not by more of this blather, but by a musical interlude from our dear, if suspicious friend from just down the block, Tom Waits.